Should we go live now? Oh God.
So Scott, what's the mood in the camp on the eve of the game?
Yeah, excitement. I think there's excitement along with nerves, which is obviously natural human nature to feel that way when there's so much obviously riding on what's going to be a massive occasion for the football club, but also for the supporters, the players, the staff, even the board of directors. It's huge for everyone. So you can see the preparations that are going on in the background, completely different to a normal game. And it's not normal, it's a chance in a lifetime to get to the third round against a very good football club. We're not delusional enough to think that it's a foregone conclusion. We're through to the next round. We know we're going to have to play extremely well on the day, and hopefully we can achieve that.
And from where you sit, the whole town have bought into this, have they get a bit of excitement beyond the normal football club circles?
Yeah, you can see that from, I think, the media coverage. They've been around the town, they've been into local pubs, bars, restaurants and whatnot, speaking to our supporters about how important it is to them and what a special occasion it is also. So it's brought everyone together. We're probably going to have 1,900 more people in here than what we usually have of recent times, and that's the sort of buzz of the FA Cup, I guess, that it does make the town gel, and hopefully we can do it proud on Sunday.
And as a non-league club, you've got a pretty good record of going to the second round over the many years, haven't you? I've been here for several second round games. It's just getting to the third round has become an issue.
Yeah, that's been an obstacle. This is obviously the 9th time the club have got there without ever getting to the third round, and from a personal point of view, I'd love to be able to be the first manager to achieve that, and I know the lads want to do it as players. So for us, it's something that's been sort of etched in the memory or the history of the club, but we've not been a part of that in terms of the players. It's a whole new group, and they're not going to fear that sort of record. I was here a few years ago when we played Gillingham, and the lads were superb that day, absolutely outstanding, and we didn't manage to get over the line. But come Sunday, we'll do everything in our power as possible to hopefully try and shake off that tag.
Yeah, and so against National League North and Macclesfield in town, have you had them watched? Do you know all about them?
Yeah, listen, they're a good side. Yeah, again, not naive enough to think that because they're in our level, they're coming to our ground, that it's going to be easy. Very well organised, they've got some really good players. Obviously pitting our wits against someone completely different is always difficult, but in some ways it's probably nicer playing a team that we don't know loads about. We could have been drawn against Chelmsford or Western that are in our league, and people would say it's a bit of a boring tie, but we play them twice a year for the last however many years. It's great that Macclesfield are travelling in their numbers as well, because I think it'll add to the occasion and the atmosphere. So we've done as much homework as we can on them. I was meant to go and watch them a couple of weeks ago at Hereford on a Tuesday night. The game got postponed, so I wasn't able to go and watch them in the flesh, but watched a lot of footage. Sometimes you can almost watch too much and you overthink everything, and I always say to the lads, listen, let's be concerned about what we do, do the best that we can, and have no regrets coming in the 90 minutes or extra time or penalties or whatever that may be.
I'm interested in your take on whether it's a good draw for Slough or not, a good tie, because on the one hand, a big League One club would have been a great day out, but now you've got a very real opportunity to get a massive day out, haven't you?
Yeah, I think my answer to this question is probably the same for Macclesfield as well, and it's only a great tie for both of our clubs if you win the game. You look at it and you go, if you get beat by Macclesfield at home, or if Macclesfield get beat by us away, they'll look and think, oh, I wish we were going to Cardiff and got beaten by a League One side, where you've had a day out, probably a few more pennies in the bank from ticket sales and things like that. But it's a winnable game for both sides, is the truth. It's going to be helter-skelter, and what I mean by that, I think it's going to be fast and furious. I think it's going to be probably the team that deals with the occasion the best, possibly makes the least mistakes, and gets into the rhythm as quickly as they can. So, no, I'm really looking forward to it from a management perspective, also a playing perspective. I'm getting older. For me, I look at it now and think it could be my last chance to play in a big game. But more importantly, I think what it does for the football club and puts them on the map, and hopefully we'll be able to live some sort of childhood dreams of us as players, but supporters as well, the sort of mileage they've put into the club over the years, the money they've spent to take them away to a big Premier League club would be everyone's dream.
you've got the 3G pitch here. You're obviously going to get, I think you said 2,600 fans in, 2,000 of whom will be cheering on Slough. How much of an advantage is playing at home, particularly bearing in mind your 3G pitch?
Well, they've got 3G as well. So yeah, it does. It does. If we were playing a team that's used to playing on grass, I think it would be a big advantage, is the truth. We know our pitch, we play it pretty well. I think in terms of the support that we've got and the support that they've got, I think they'll have 600 dire fans that will travel down. I've played at Macclesfield before and it's an incredible atmosphere. And I know that 600 of them along the far side will cause a racket, they'll cause a lot of noise. But then you look at our fans, the ones that are behind the goal week in, week out, incredible set of people, incredible set of supporters that we know by name. And I think that's the beauty of non-league football, that you actually get to know the people that follow you home and away. And listen, I could reel off hundreds of names that I would love to make proud on Sunday afternoon, that I know give so much to this football club. And it would be incredible if we could do it, but if we don't do it, I just want to make sure no one goes home thinking, what if, maybe I could have done a little bit more, could have tried a little bit harder. But I don't think we've got that type of group that will shirk hard work or shake responsibility and make sure that it was someone else's fault, and we've not got that. We've got a really honest group of lads that I just want to give their all on Sunday. The messaging's been clear, the team's been named, the squad's been named, so the disappointments are out of the way and we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, so fit squad more or less to choose from, not too many injury problems I hope, and actually related to that, yeah, I'll speak to the manager to you in a minute who might have a word on that, but also links that your league form and the relevance of that, whether you feel that's got anything, any relevance at all on Sunday?
No, not at all. I think cup competition, cup football, any league form goes out the window. If Macclesfield were top of their league, bottom of their league, I wouldn't read anything into it. They're obviously in a good vein of form. One sort of dodgy result that filed the other night, but that can happen. They're a good side. For us, in terms of injuries, this man next to me, I would do anything to get him out on the pitch with us on Sunday afternoon, but he's going to be out for a couple more months, which is a big loss to us, is the truth, as our captain. But I know their captain's missing as well, so it almost feels like a bit of a level playing field, that we're both about our skippers. But no, we've got a good squad to choose from, a couple of injuries. The team's been picked, like I said, the squad's been picked, and we're happy with what we've got.
You mentioned you're getting older, not only some of us, but you are getting older. I mean, how is it being a player manager? Because that role is pretty rare nowadays. You don't see many of them around. No. Are you finding it easy to cope with? Are you looking forward to the day when you can hang your boots up and become a full-time manager? How does it work in your day?
I always say, and it's my answer to everything, I think nobody else is stupid enough to do it. I wasn't ready to retire when the club offered me the job, so I've done it since day one. As a player manager, is the truth. I've never known just being a manager. One day I would like to just be in the dugout, but I still feel like I've got something to give, and I hope the players and the management team would agree with that, and the supporters as well. But yeah, listen, it's not about me come Sunday. I want to deliver for other people, even my family. I think for the lads to make their family and friends proud is just as important. They make a lot of sacrifices as well, and to give back to those people that kind of go unnoticed at times, sometimes get ignored around the house as well. As a manager, it's difficult when I'm on the phone and my wife and my young daughter are there, and you have to sort of not be present to pick up the phone call and take phone calls at ungodly hours of the night, and it's all those sacrifices that you make that hopefully on Sunday we can kind of give back to those that sometimes become secondary. So yeah, a lot of people that we want to make happy.
Right, here's the only difficult question I'm going to ask you, I suspect. Say it goes well on Sunday, say you're through to the third round for the first time in Slough's history, it'll be an amazing moment. You'll very quickly be looking at the draw. Who do you want in the third round?
I'm a Tottenham fan. As a boy I was die-hard Tottenham, Tottenham lunchbox, bed sheets, wallpaper, all sorts. But now I think...
Do you still have that?
Not anymore, no, I had to get rid of it last year. No, but for me I think that Man United is always the one that I think people look at. They were always the biggest club when I was growing up as a kid. And I've always said that if Man United play at home, it's always going to be sold out. The waiting list to go and watch them is incredible. And I think even if Slough Town or Macclesfield got to Old Trafford, I think there'd be 74,000, 75,000 people there. And that's the beauty of a club like that. So yeah, we're not sort of thinking that we're there yet. I've told the lads to dare to dream, because I think you might get 5% extra out of the boys come Sunday. But yeah, I think that would be the plum tie.
So Man United or away, if not that, then Tottenham away. They're your choices.
Yeah,
if it were to happen.
Man United away, I think, would be the one. If not, Leeds United. My dad's a massive Leeds fan. It'd be nice to go and play against them at Ellen Road. I've done it once before, and it would be amazing to go back there as a manager.
Well, brilliant. I hope Sunday goes well, and who knows? That's great. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thanks, Tim.
Perfect. Appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Shall I make you step out from it and then come on?
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask.
Shout from there.
I can look at it a little bit. No, I was just going to say about the crowd here on Sunday. Obviously, a sellout. You've mentioned, how there's an excitement building in the town, and I heard recently that a crowd can come and play with the players. Is that what you what's your message to the Slough Town players? Not to just come and watch, but to come and give you something extra?
I think just be themselves is the truth. We can always rely on them. They're always dependable. Whether we win 5-0, lose 5-0, the message from them is always the same. Chin up, lads, well done, go again, thanks, lads. Whatever it might be, they're so consistent in their support. And I think come Sunday, I think it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. If we go 1-0 in front, go 1-0 behind. If we miss chances, if Adam's making saves, it's going to be topsy-turvy. I think it's going to be a game where everyone's on edge because of what there is to win, but also what there is to lose at the same time. So for us, it's just be themselves. We're not going to do anything differently in terms of how we approach the game, and we'll definitely need them to drive us on from the first minute to the last.
You mentioned obviously that Slough have been to this stage 9 times in their history, never to the third round. Are you proud still of reaching this stage? Because I know Maidenhead have never made it to, or haven't made it to the second round in 140 odd years or something. So it is still an impressive achievement.
Yeah, it is, especially when it looked as though we were making hard work of it in the earlier rounds. Away at Welling was a tough game in the first qualifying round. We were down to 10 men and we were 1-0 behind in the third qualifying round, whatever it was. We were losing to Enfield 2-1 here, and we came back. And then Ochieng, I thought we played extremely well and we hung on for the win. So it's been difficult, it's not been plain sailing. We've had to overcome a lot of obstacles and we've done it. And I don't think that's through unbelievable talent. There's good talent in the change room for sure, but I think it's the togetherness that we've got, the desire to want to go and work hard, to put your bodies on the line, that grit and determination that we talk about all the time. We've got it in abundance. So we know we're not the best team in the world, but I think that when we get it right, we're really difficult to play against.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of, you mentioned you've had the hard conversations with the players in terms of who's starting, who's on the bench, who's possibly not in the squad. How have they dealt with that? And is there a togetherness once they've got that disappointment out of the way to kind of hopefully all be together?
Yeah, for me it's probably been the most difficult week in terms of picking a team. We've left some extremely good players on the bench. Last night when I named it before training so we could work on shape and set pieces and things like that, I felt like it was important to get it out of the way and get rid of the disappointment. So there were some tough conversations post-training where lads wanted answers as to why they're not playing, and I think the beauty of the change room that we've got, and this man sat to the side of me, is that sometimes they don't want to hear from the manager. Sometimes they need an arm around them from a senior player, the captain, one of the other boys, to try and help get them through this period, because everyone's desperate to walk out of the tunnel on Sunday within that starting 11, and I can't please every single one of them, is the truth, but they've got to be ready to come on and impact the game. And we talk about starters, impactors and finishers. Jaden Drakes-Thomas in the round against Enfield didn't start, he came on and scored the winner and he was the hero that day. So yeah, it's emotional when you name it and you know that you're going to have to deal with a little bit of friction, I guess, from the lads that are obviously a little bit peeved that they're not playing, but it's part and parcel of my job. I'm there to try and pick the best team to go and win a football match on Sunday afternoon.
And from your point of view, the players who maybe aren't involved or are on the bench, if you do get through, there's every chance they could start in the third round.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, we're all in this together. I think there's not one of us on Sunday afternoon who's going to go and win the game by themselves. Every single player is going to be needed, every single staff member, every single supporter is going to be needed to get us through. We know it's going to be extremely tough. No game in the FA Cup is going to be easy, no team's going to roll over for you and let you have it your way. So No, for us it's about looking at the bigger picture. I think it will be a game of almost 2 within the 90 minutes or extra time, whatever it takes, because the intensity that both of the teams will play at probably for an hour will require substitutions. So we almost need to know that we've got some armoury and some ammunition to put on into the second half.
Yeah, you mentioned, is the game finished on Sunday? It doesn't go to...
No, so extra time and penalties.
So that potentially adds a little bit of excitement to the day. It could potentially add.
It does, yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. If it's close, coming towards the end of 90 minutes, do you go for it? Do you stay in the game and play extra time? And who knows is the truth. And that's why I think it's going to be helter skelter. It's my favourite sort of saying. I think it's going to be carnage, reckless. I think there's going to be people that are going to be nervous. People aren't going to be able to deal with the occasions as well as some of the others. But I feel like we've got a good amount of experience in our team. A lot of the boys have played in front of the cameras before and they know what to expect.
You mentioned just before when talking to Tim about how the prospect of the third round could raise the players by maybe a few percent. Possibly also playing in front of the TV cameras could do the same. What have you done? Have you done anything in particular to ahead of Sunday to get them ready?
No, I don't want the players to play any differently because the cameras are here. You can't play selfishly all of a sudden because you know that the TV cameras are here and people might be watching across the world or whatever it might be. You've just got to remain consistent in what we do, remain consistent in what you're going to bring to the team. We talk about having your superpower, what you're best at, and you just need to bring that on Sunday afternoon. Don't do anything spectacular that you've not done before or try anything extraordinary. We know what we're good at, we know how difficult we are to play against when we get it right, and that's what we want to try and be on Sunday afternoon against a really good football inside.
And do you think you could surprise Macclesfield a bit? Because they'll look at the table, they'll see you're in the relegation zone, but actually I'm sure you believe, and I think I believe as well, that you're a better side than where you are at the table.
I think the stats would tell us that. I think we've lost 8 games here in 2 years and 3 months. So we've not lost loads and loads of games. I think Ochieng probably underestimated us when they came here, obviously a month ago, 5-6 weeks ago, whatever it was. I don't think Macclesfield will underestimate us. I think they would have done their homework, and I think they'll pay us respect like we're going to pay them respect. So we pay them respect in a way that we treat them with that, but when we go out to the pitch, we have no fear, and that's the most important thing. So we believe in our home record. We know how well we can play. All the managers that I speak to in our league always say about how tough it is to come here, and we need to make sure that we put in a performance that kind of warrants what I want, what the management team wants, and what the players know that they can deliver.
And just a quick word on Macclesfield. You mentioned you think they'll be a tough team. They've become a more kind of high-profile team, haven't they? I think there's a documentary coming out about them, due with the Robbie Savage kind of when he was manager there. I know he's no longer manager there, but yeah. What do you make of them as a team?
Big club. I played against them. I think it was 2008 the last time in League Two, long time ago. Good support. Obviously the Robbie Savage effect when he was there. Was it last year? Was obviously put them back on the map. Then that's been carried over by John Rooney, the manager, who's obviously quite high profile as well with his brother. So yeah, no, they are a big club. They're probably a sleeping giant at this level. You can see their attendances and how big that is, and the support and the following they've got. So yeah, we know we're playing against a big football club. They've got some extremely good players, is the truth, but so have we. And for us, it's about who can maybe go and exploit the weaknesses of either team as best as possible on Sunday afternoon and see who comes out on top.
Thank you. That's great.
Cheers, thanks.
You want to, that's around.
Yeah, good.
Oh, come on. You ready, Sam?
Oh God, I love this song.
So Henry, new stash, new gilet. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's obviously great for the atmosphere that's at the time getting for us being in the second round of the FA Cup, so we're looking forward to it on Sunday.
And for you, potentially being on the sidelines, that must be very frustrating.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It is frustrating, but obviously my role changes. I'm here to support the team. off the pitch and do what I can to obviously push them over the line.
Yeah, and in that leadership role, because we've been speaking to Scott about his player-manager role, perhaps that's an inflated role, whereas if you've got the manager on the sideline anyway, there might be less for you to do, but presumably there's a bit more for you to do. Is that because of that?
You can say that, yeah, but the boys, they know how to take care of themselves on and off the pitch as well, so it's just about fine-tuning it for the certain boys that need that help, and we can only do what we can, and at the end of the day it comes down to everyone's individual performance on the day, and hopefully they are successful in that day.
How much excitement is there? And are they aware of the history as well, actually, of the team? I believe some of the players know all the stats and all the history about Slough in the FA Cup, and for some they just ignore that and crack on with today. Is there a real buzz and excitement, a chance to write some history?
Yeah, I think buzz is the right word. The boys obviously know the magnitude of this second round and what's obviously capable for the next round. So I think the history doesn't play a part in anyone's mind, because in honesty, that was the history and we're in the present now. So everyone, you've got to do what they can and progress, really. That's it.
And actually to get as far as the club has, you're not going to rest on your laurels one little bit, but to have got through the first round is a significant achievement, isn't it? So that hopefully there's some momentum from that.
Yeah, definitely so. But as we said, it's a cup game. Anything can happen. It's unpredictable. Form goes out the window, league table goes out the window. So it's really just a shootout on how you are on the day, really.
On the subject of shootouts, have you practiced with penalties as a team? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think we'll get into that. Yeah, definitely get into that. Obviously, it's definitely a possibility. So it would be stupid of us not to obviously practice that. Yeah.
Are you a fan of no replays and extra time and penalties, or would you rather go up to Macclesfield in the case of a draw?
I think obviously just from the congestion of the league and obviously other cups, it does make sense. But there are some magical moments that do happen in replay. So this is give and take, really.
You might be less of a fan if you're if you're here against Manchester United and you get a draw. You might be less of a fan of no replays. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is there confidence, because it's quite a hard game to call from outside with the two teams being in equivalent leagues?
The game is there for the taking. As Scotty's obviously said, we've done our research. They've probably done their research, but we know the quality we have in the group. We know that we can fight when we want to fight. And so we'll obviously approach the game as any other game and go to take the win, really.
It's a great little setup here. You've got good car parking, nice clubhouse and decent stand, and then the 3D pitch. Is the 3D pitch very different to play on, to grass, and for other teams coming here? I know Macclesfield have similar, so it's not going to be an advantage on Sunday, but how much of a factor is that on what Slough do here?
Like as you said, it cancels it out for both teams. A lot of teams in the league now and in the National League have 3G pitches, so it's not out of the norm to obviously be playing on 3G anymore. So I think the boys are just taking it in their stride and continue as they've ever done.
And I'm just looking back on your time. Have you had other FA Cup runs in the past? Because I think I'm right in saying you've been at Slough for a couple of years now. But previously, what's been your most magical FA Cup experiences?
When I was younger, yeah, we played Norwich. We got, I think, to the fourth round, lost to Sheffield United, I want to say. So we got far, and obviously I want the boys to experience that kind of feeling of getting that far as well, and hopefully we do succeed in that on Sunday.
Is there still the magic of the cup is the cliche, isn't it? But for your generation, because I am definitely a generation older than you, and for us, we think back to the 1990s and all the magic of the FA Cup, and there's lots of chat about whether it's still what it was. For you guys, is it still as magical as ever?
Yeah, I think it's obviously the biggest cup we can play in. So we take it as if this is our cup final, World Cup final. Obviously, I was old enough to still remember Gerrard screamer against West Ham. So yeah. So there's moments like that that you just think of and think we could possibly get that in the next round, and that obviously give us up to take it on and succeed.
Right, my last question, same as to the manager. Who would you ideally want in the third round, should that happen?
Yeah, I think obviously third round, the big boys come into play. I'm an Arsenal fan myself, so Arsenal away would probably be beneficial, yeah.
Arsenal Tottenham days must be exciting with you two.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, the boys, they know what's at stake, they know what's obviously possible, so it's just down to getting the job done.
And actually, in terms of you, if the club were to do what they need to do, is there a reasonable chance you might be back for the beginning of January? Is that a possibility?
Reasonable, yeah.
Okay.
So it just depends how I progress in the next few weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of congested games. So it just depends on how I progress.
Yeah. So it would be nice because you potentially get back involved with your fitness.
Yeah, definitely.
Potentially.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see how that goes.
Good.
The consultants and everything. So yeah.
Well, enjoy the day. I think you make a great recovery. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Henry. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there'll be some disappointment on your behalf, having to miss this game through injury. But I just wanted to get a better idea as to kind of what you can bring to the day in terms of boosting the players' kind of confidence, maybe kind of working with them to get the best out of their performance.
Yeah, the whole team knows. Obviously, my role's changed on and off the pitch now. They know what I bring to the team just from talking to specific, obviously, individuals that I feel that need it. Not everyone's the same, so I know there's some boys I can chat to that need that arm around their shoulder just to kind of gear them up, and there's others that just want to be left alone. So I sort of bring that to the table now that obviously I see it from a different perspective. So I'm hoping that I can obviously gear them on from the sidelines this Sunday.
Yeah. Are you interested in the kind of coaching side of things? When you're on the bench, I know Scott may be playing. Tony's there as well. But are you there on the sidelines looking to kind of give advice and point things out and say to Scott or to Tony?
Yeah, in a respectful way. Yeah, definitely so. I obviously see things differently because I'm on the side now compared to obviously in the centre of the field. So there are things that I do pick up on, whereas if Scott's obviously playing, his main focus is playing. So there are things that I can obviously address to him and obviously the coaching staff, and they can take it on board. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So.
What's the mood in the dressing room like? Obviously, the players heard the team and such last night. How do you feel they are? I mean, you're obviously excited, but those who are starting must be really, really excited.
Yeah, I think the word is buzz. They've got a good buzz about them. They know the magnitude of this game. They know that's what's at stake, as we said. But they just got to take it in their stride and act as if it's just another game, because really, truthfully, it is just another game. It's there for the taking. We know that, and we'll just hopefully get the job done.
Yeah. Do you feel how much of a distraction has this game been? Obviously, in the last few weeks, I know you haven't been playing, but you have a sense of how much it's been hanging over the club maybe for the last few weeks, since the draw was made.
Yeah, I'd be lying if we said it wasn't there in the back of our minds. Not to say that we've been holding back or anything, but we've had it obviously prepared for obviously the last 4 or 5 weeks since we've known that this game is going to be approached. But the boys are taking each other game day by day. We've approached it in the same way we approached all the other games previously. So there's nothing changed really. Obviously the magnitude of this game, being under the cameras, being under the lights is different, but it's just another game of football.
Yeah, you've played in front of TV cameras before, and I'm sure a few of the other players have. Can you offer some advice to those who haven't? What an occasion like this is like?
I think it's just being yourself again. It's another game of football. Just because there's cameras doesn't mean anything changes. And I know the boys know that, and the senior boys around them on the pitch will definitely support them in that, and Scott will support them in that. So yeah, nothing changes.
And what would it mean to, I know you can't physically help, but you can be there, but what would it mean to the club to get into the third round? Would it match, some of those, previous, experiences you've had with Labour?
Yeah, definitely so. I think it's massive for the club, for the town itself as well. As you obviously alluded to, the history, it obviously precedes itself, but it's just another game, it's just another team that we're going to be playing against, and I think history goes out the window when it comes down to this. So yeah, it's massive, massive.
Thank you. Cheers, thanks very much.
Thank you, great.
Thank you.
Cheers guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Quite a lot there, so yeah, thanks.
Can I get a picture of both of you?
Yeah, of course.
Looking wistfully out towards the ground?
Yeah. What, the backs of us?
Good luck with the